Welcome to Title Talk with your host, Drew Wishover, entrepreneur, a published author, and owner of Inspired Title Group, along with his co-host and CEO, Amy Maley. Each week, they offer you some laughs, industry terminology, tips and strategies, along with the occasional real estate professional to help educate you as it pertains to buying, selling, or just plain old homeownership. Thanks for spending time with them. Now, let's jump into today's episode of Title Talk. Welcome. Another Thursday edition of Title Talk. You're here. We're here.
Kind of.
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good day, whatever time it is that you are listening and joining us today. We are Inspired Title, the title company that cares. My name's Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are bringing to you another Thursday episode edition show about title and all the fun things that go on in the business and in the industry. So we thank you guys for joining. We got a lot of fun here today. Amy's just tossing stuff all over the place. That's great. We're glad to have you here. We're glad to have you guys here each and every week. Brittany, nice job on the backdrop again. We've got a fabulous new production going. This is pretty exciting. We're just getting bigger and better and greater with each week. So
we are great.
We are great. We're here to tell you why we're great. Today is a show about why we're great. Not really. It isn't. But today is about, we're going to talk about some terms, maybe some conversation that you guys want to know the difference between and understanding of. So stay tuned for that. We'll be bringing in a guest to assist us in that matter. But in the meantime, why don't we do what we normally do?
Let's do what we normally do. If you are joining us right now, you are in for a very special treat.
This is
someone who said he would never do this, no matter how much we begged him and forced him. He's being a team. Oh, he's trying to run away right now. He actually came up with this great topic that we're going to talk about today. So what other way than to have him come here with us? So you guys, I would like to introduce you to John, don't trip over the microphone, who is a closer at Inspired Title, has been with the company for about 4 or 5 years now.
How many years have you been here, John? 5 years, John. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
We know you're a huge fan of cameras and pictures and
talking
and all that stuff, and just sit back, relax. Yep. We're gonna make you as uncomfortable as we possibly can.
Okay. He sat back.
You did the elbow thing. He's like,
he did the elbows. He did.
Yeah. We'll fill you in on
I'm
that
not used to sitting on the couch by myself. Usually my dog is right here.
Yeah, right. So there you go. You got a little fake pillow dog.
That's good. That's good. So what was I see? I was out, and this idea came up from the office and the team, which I thought was really cool.
I did too.
I had come back from a meeting, and the whole title talk was
a meeting.
Oh, that's right. I came back from golfing.
A meeting.
I came back. And title talk was all laid out, and I heard John was going to be on. I went, get out of here. Are you serious?
I know. It's great.
Is that really going to happen? So yeah, truthfully,
Once
he
in
is
a blue
here.
moon.
Once in a blue moon.
I show you a strawberry.
There you go. So what was this idea that you guys all came up with for this? Talking?
What was your brilliant idea?
Well, regards to a question that Brittany had, because she was trying to understand the difference between different mortgage companies.
Okay.
And I pointed out there's a distinction between mortgage brokers and lenders, and they might both have mortgage in the name, and usually they'll act in one capacity. We have one particular lender that can act in either capacity, but they can't be both.
Correct.
Like on each transaction, they can only be one party or the other.
Yeah. So Brittany, being new in the industry, is learning and trying to kind of catch up on a lot of the terminology that's going on. And the term that we are referencing here, the terms that we're referencing here is lender and then mortgage broker. So there's a distinct difference between the two, right? And I mean, working in the closing department, you see them both, and they are very, very different. Do you want to elaborate on that and determine? Do you know the differences pretty substantially between the two?
Well, I mean, Obviously, the lender is the one who actually lends the money. The mortgage broker is usually the one that brings the business to the lender.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a
that-
middleman, kind of.
right, but they're the ones that are out there actively soliciting
Mm-hmm.
business, contacting people. Whereas, the lender, not so much. I mean, there may be
Right.
some lenders that do, because you do see lenders that advertise.
Mm-hmm.
But for the lenders that do use brokers, that's their primary way that they get their business.
And I think, for simple terms here, you can use the word lender and bank as synonyms. Your local bank is a lender. You go into Chase, that's a lender. You go into some of these like bigger named mortgage broker companies, they are ultimately shopping around for the best deal to find you as the client, the borrower, the best opportunity. Does it make one better than the other? I think there's arguments to be had throughout the process. They're just very different. How in the title side does it represent any difference? Is there anything different that you do in the title world with the two differences?
Well, I mean, with the individual brokers, we'll deal with many different lenders, and there's, they obviously all have different systems.
John loves that.
Oh yeah.
He loves that.
Some have different expectations. Some, are very specific. You have to do this. You have to do this.
Right.
Some are more lenient. Yeah, you should do this, but if you miss this, we're not going to freak out over it. But you'll have another lender that will.
Yeah, the instructions and the do's and don'ts from a broker is different than the do's and don'ts from an actual lender.
Right.
So, I guess a good example of this is, most people, and I say most people, that's tough. But if you're out there looking for a loan and you're kind of going, gee, where do I go? Where do I start? The typical recommendation, at least from my opinion and from where I've directed people, is I will tell people to go to your bank, where you're currently banking, because you've got a relationship with them.
Right.
So you start out with that aspect and see what kind of opportunity they can give you. But if you're looking for your best shopped opportunity, that's where the mortgage broker is going to come in hand, because, as John mentioned, they deal with several different lenders, and they have different rates based on what your needs are, and they have different programs, and they have different opportunities that go in there. But from the title side of it, the closing aspect is just going, okay, where do we upload it to? Where's the package coming from? Where does it go? What is the instructions may be different. Have you found it to be easier one way or another? Like versus if you were to deal with just a bank specifically, is it typically an easier transaction than with a lender, with a mortgage broker?
Not necessarily. I mean, it all depends on. Really, it's just a familiarity. Once you work with a particular lender quite a bit, then it's just like a assembly line. You know exactly what to do. Boom, 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 boom. You do this. So once you know their expectations, it's just like with any relationship. Once you know what the expectations are, then you can function pretty well.
Absolutely.
Definitely. The other factor I think that is important to note in the differences is, a mortgage broker is paid basically on the origination. Okay, the lender.
What's the origination for the universe?
The origination is they're getting a fee for originating the loan. Ultimately, what they're going to do is they're going to place it with a lender, and that lender is going to ultimately pay for that mortgage to service it the rest of its time. So they offer that mortgage broker compensation for them shopping that loan. So John, let's say, is now a mortgage broker. John goes and says, all right, well, I'm going to check out these major banks, and I'm going to give you the best rate. And maybe they're working in the best interest of that. That's what they're supposed to be doing. But they also could be going, well, I get paid the most from these guys, so I'm going to steer my client to those guys because my origination is 1%. So if you're borrowing $200,000, they're making $2,000. That's their origination fee, because they're connecting the dots between you and that final lender who's going to service your loan over the period of time. So, you would like to believe that they are dealing with their best interest of
what they are. But then there's guys like, I mean, we work very closely with Tommy and
Hey,
Neighborhood Loans.
Tommy.
And he's obviously our, I mean, Brittany went through Tommy, and Tommy was amazing. Tommy has done so many things with us and for us in the business, in the industry, that the reality is that's somebody who we want to have on the show, because I'm telling you, to hear it from him.
Yep.
The brilliance that he speaks, and the ability there's a lot more creativity on the brokers side than there is with the lenders. The lenders have this box that they've got to fit in. Brokers have a little bit more
Wiggle room,
freedom
yeah.
to making the deal work. And the good brokers are going to take care of the people, in a different way, whereas the banks, they make their money on the fact that they're servicing the loan. There's they got the 30-year mortgage, they're collecting the interest. So the person that is soliciting that origination fee now is ultimately going to the bank. The bank fees. So what did Tommy have to say?
He loves the background.
Oh,
There's a little neighborhood loan by your head.
Oh, Tommy! And we love you, sir. We're gonna get you on. We gotta get you on here. I've been bugging you.
He did say, though, except when you are a direct lender like us, we are the bank, lend our own money, have the lowest rates, don't broker and underwrite it all in-house for a quick turn time.
And that's a very good point, because I think the term broker gets really misunderstood by many, because as a neighborhood loans example, it's their money. They're lending and servicing those loans.
And I think that's who you brought up, right? You brought up neighborhood as like being able to act as both.
Yeah.
That was
Right.
one of your examples
Right.
of it. So
Right.
yeah.
And I think that's a reality to the piece of, there are a lot of brokers who shop it around. They're not servicing it. A neighborhood loans who's a broker is also servicing it, and they're the ones that are actually going to provide the money and things. And they have a lot of different programs, a lot of different opportunities. We obviously feed them, and they feed us. We work so well together.
And he just confirmed July 6th.
He's available?
Yep.
Well,
We're super excited to see you, Tommy.
on July 6th, you'll be hearing it right from the goat's mouth. Okay, the goat being greatest of all time, as one of our listeners points out.
This is so cool when people are like
Oh, he's
engaged.
saying, no, we're seeing him in his office.
We can
That's-
still bring the live.
That's when we're going there.
That's
to
what I
him.
said. We're gonna go see him. We're going to neighborhood.
Perfect. All right, we're setting up shop there. Brittany taking the show on the road. Here we go. This might be our first road show. So, what other aspects? What other questions do you have about
I actually think this was a really good topic because refinances were in such like a huge I think
high.
probably 85% of our business for a while was refinances.
Especially through the pandemic, yeah.
Yeah, it was huge. And as far as like on title side of it, I see once we work with different lenders a certain amount of time, I know which lenders are going to require to see like all the documents for all the exceptions that I bring up that some of them do. It's just like you said, it's getting used to working with different people and what each lender wants and what each mortgage broker is expecting of us, and getting used to portals that John has been introducing me to. And
It's funny that you mentioned that the term refinance. And I think even you, Amy, when you initially started doing these, the purpose of a refinance was to pay off an existing mortgage and get a lower interest rate. Well, we saw through the pandemic that that's not always the case. I mean, you can refinance your home if you don't have a mortgage. You're ultimately just taking out a mortgage.
the first time I did that, I was like, something's got to be wrong.
Right.
Something's got to be wrong. You
gotta
got
pay
they're,
something off
they're
to get something
refinancing nothing.
Right. So they're literally,
Using their
borrowing
home.
the equity
Yeah.
from their home to maybe finance their deck that they're going to build, or their kids going away to college.
I don't
or
think I'm
things
ever
like
gonna
that.
have a house with no morttage.
Well, and
I think I've
that's a
mortgaged
whole
my
financial
entire life.
argument that I have a totally different stance on that you
Well,
and
you-
I have talked about.
Yes.
Because if the tax deduction and the ability to do that, if you own your home free and clear, what kind of a deduction do you have? You've got
This
your
one.
standard deduction.
This one of not having to pay
Absolutely.
that
It's
many
freedom.
dollars a
No question
month.
about it. 100%. I get that. But in a financial place where it's important to have some kind of deductions against the income that people earn, and we're going on a tangent that is absolutely sideways, and I'd love to actually get Tommy's opinion on this too, because he has definitely directed people in different ways and has an opinion on it as well. And it's not about right and wrong. It's about what works for each individual. And that's the purpose of really the conversation and people refinancing. And money's cheap right now, right? You can borrow money at 3% and 4%. let's see, I'm going to pay off, my car, which is probably more than 3 or 4%, credit cards, which are more than 3 and 4%. I can send my kids to college, and that's still probably cheaper than 3 and 4%. I mean, borrowing the equity in your house right now has tremendous value to offset some of the other interest rates that are above 10%. I mean, find a credit card now that's not 15% plus.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
Well, if you carry a balance and you've got $20,000 on that, wouldn't you rather pay 3% on that $20,000 versus 15? I know I would. This is that 1971 and 1980
it's
time.
crazy.
It's, so consolidate some of that debt. There's no better time to do that than under the circumstances of what we live in right now. This is the time to take advantage of that. Money's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
As the investor side, building houses and going into developing and things, money's cheap. It's cheaper for us to borrow money to build houses because that return that we get is so much greater than what that loan is. And here again, you don't want to be in financial jail because you've got all these mortgages out there.
Mhm.
But to get ahead in the game, pay yourself first.
Yeah.
And these give you these opportunities. So I hope we were able to answer a little bit of the differences between a lender and a mortgage broker. If there's any other questions out there, we certainly welcome those. If there's questions that you guys have that you want us to take off the air, feel free to give us a holler, contact us. John, being one of our lead closers and experienced individuals here in our office, is always kind of adding to the communication and conversations that go on in the industry about what's happening new and things. I mean, you're a notary in I guess all the states now, right? With your remote notary access.
Yeah, I can notarize from anywhere in the world.
Yep. So if you're in Mexico, he'll happily come out to Mexico and notarize for you because the poor guy needs a vacation, and it would be really nice of you guys to do that for him. And I think that that's becoming a conversation that is something that I want to talk about in some future shows, and you might be able to add to some of this, is talking about the remote online notary piece and talking about some of the different nuances that go on with notaries and things you can and can't do, and maybe that'd be something to bring back to really speak about that, because I think there's a lot of folks out there that hear the term notary, but they really don't know what that job is and what they need them for, and really what risk there is for you doing it, and how that all works. So stay tuned. We'll certainly bring that up as a topic. I'm sure Brittany's going to note that for us to talk about later on down the line too. That's a key.
I think she fell asleep while you were talking.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't see a pen moving. I don't see anything.
She did this.
I think she's still thinking about the garage aspect of it.
Her brain has not moved with us yet.
Or the vomiting. Holy.
Oh my
cow.
God! Stop it! I'm done.
Oh my
I'm over
gosh.
that. I'm done.
I mean, John, you don't ever want to meet her family.
What?
You don't want to.
Ask her about it later. I don't want to talk about it again.
Or just rewind and tune in. It's quite enlightening. Do you have any questions for our guest here today?
I'm pretty good.
You
It was
are good.
pretty.
Brittany, you have any questions from the back?
No, I got them answered yesterday.
Great. Well, that was a brilliant idea. I appreciate you coming on here and bringing a topic to Title Talk for us
Yeah,
here
much
today.
appreciated.
Now I'd ask you to get back to work.
Okay. Sounds good.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is John, our title and closing officer here at Inspire Title. Definitely a friendly face and voice for you guys to connect with. Does closings in Indiana, does closings for us in Illinois. Really, really great asset for us and our company. So you're starting to slowly meet the Inspired team. I think we've got, you've met Christine right out of the gate. Christina,
Miguel,
back.
Brittany, everyone's.
Yeah.
John was the one who was holding out for as long as possible, but.
Absolutely. So we've now broken the ice. We'll get him back on for the notary talk and just keep chugging along with that. So.
Do you want to stay for our questions so you can get questions asked of you, or you want to skate out?
No, I'll scoot out.
Yeah, I think we all knew the answer to that.
I was trying to be nice
Yeah.
and just see if you
I
want.
heard some of the questions you were asking.
Thank you,
sir.
John.
Thank you. Oh gosh, it's
I'm so
always,
glad he came.
I am too. It's always fun to have guests join, and you don't know what to expect. They don't know what to expect, but
John was exactly what I expected he would be. He was very chill.
But you know what? Like I think that the nervousness of this. I think you were there at one time when it started out as well. But
Tommy. We're the best team in the biz.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
I
Appreciate
need
you.
a Tommy tattoo on my arm, I think.
Tommy, she said it. She's got that. Send pictures, okay? I think that something that we try to do really is make the guest comfortable and not make them feel awkward or unknowledgeable. And I think that
For sure.
When you started this, you were really tense about, oh my gosh, I'm
Everything?
afraid of this and not knowing. But like, if you just follow the lead of what I was doing and you got comfortable, now people are following the lead of what we're both doing.
Right.
Because you're super comfortable at it. I mean, we've been in
It's an
that
evolution,
space,
for
right?
sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've been in that space to be nervous. And Brittany, look at Brittany. I mean, she's just flourishing and
Oh, yeah,
growing
she
every
is.
day. And it's really great to see, and it's really exciting for us to watch growth. And I'm at that point in my career that this is all I want to see is the people that we work with and around just excel, and that is just a wonderful feeling all the way around. So, and having great customers like Tommy and great clients and things that we have in our industry and business, I mean, that is probably one of the loudest things that speak volumes for who we are. You know, this is a big company in Neighborhood Loans who really supports us and really is
They are such a huge
they've been
asset.
really loyal
Oh, yeah.
to us because we get the deals done. We work so well with their teams, and that's that inspired way, going above and beyond for the clients, and we really try to excel at that. So thank you, Tommy, for paying
Yeah, thanks,
attention,
Tommy.
listening in, and chiming in. We really appreciate you, and we appreciate your team and the business that they give us. So let's close it up, babe. Give your
right.
quote. Give your quote
My
of the day.
quote. Well done is better than well said. Good old Benjamin Franklin.
Indeed.
Put your
Indeed.
money where your mouth is and get it done.
So here, ready? Do not take life seriously. You will not get out alive.
Deep.
Live every day. I hope you guys really enjoyed this as much as we did.
It was great. Thank you.
We thank you for tuning in. We thank you for commenting. We thank you guys for really just following the Inspired team. We're here for you guys. So we'll be back here next week with some new fun and different opportunities and conversations. So we ask that you guys join us. Until next week, my name's Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are Inspired Title Group, guys. Take care. See you.
Well, that's it for this week's edition of Title Talk. Be sure to head over to our Inspired Title YouTube page, subscribe, like, and follow the team on Instagram and Facebook. Join us again next time for more tips and knowledge from the industry pros. Thanks again for listening.